Hi, my name is Tommy Jordan. Welcome back to my channel. I'm your Palm Springs area realtor. And today, we are gonna talk about the 5 things that I wish I knew before I moved to Palm Springs, California. If you're thinking about moving, well, this video is a must-see. Let's roll. Before we get started, make sure you give that like button a hit right there and also subscribe if you're interested in learning about the Palm Springs area on a weekly basis. Now let's start it off. Our 5 things we're gonna talk about today that you should know before you move to Palm Springs. The first one is that there's 2 electric companies in the desert that service the whole Palm Springs area, and one of them is cheaper for electricity than the other. Let's take a look at this map here and I'll show you the different areas. Okay, here we go. Here's the map of the Palm Springs area. Here's Palm Springs, and if you take Highway 111, that's our major highway, that will take you all the way through the entire desert. So if you want to see the area, take that road through and you can see everything. It'll take you like 40 minutes. The desert is a pretty small place. So you can see Palm Desert right here, and if we zoom in on this map over here, you could see this street right here in between La Quinta and you have Indio, so Indian Wells and Palm Desert's over here, and then you have Bermuda Dunes, Indio, and La Quinta down here. So there's a few cities over here to the right. Now, to the right of Washington, or I guess we could say to the east of Washington, you have IID, which is Imperial Irrigation District. Now, to the west of Washington, which would be Indian Wells, Palm Desert, Rancho Mirage, Cathedral City, Palm Springs, that will be SoCal Edison, or Southern California Edison, who services the electricity, the power for a lot of just Southern California. So the difference is IID to the east of Washington is gonna be a lot more affordable. Now, why this might matter is because in the summertime, let's just say a 1,400 square foot like townhome, right? For SoCal Edison, that could maybe cost $250, $300 a month on average. Well, with IID, that same 1,400 square foot townhome would cost maybe $150 a month in summer. So it's literally almost half the cost, I would say, about being in IID territory, if you want to call it that. But being in La Quinta or India or any of these cities, so if I zoom out, you can see all these cities, Thermal, Coachella, all these cities to the right are on IID. Now, I wouldn't say you should use that as a determining factor to like buy in the desert, to just pick the cheaper electricity company. But you know what I would say? If you were like considering like apples to oranges, like Palm Desert and La Quinta or Indio, and you were like, well, I like both cities, but you need like something to help push that decision, make it a little easier for you. IID, your electricity will be a lot cheaper. Now, this doesn't matter as much if you're buying a second home or you're a snowbird, you just come in and out, and you're not gonna be living at the place full time, where in the summer months, is really when you're gonna crank I was gonna say heat, but the heat's already cranked. You're gonna crank the AC. I'm going crazy, I had too much coffee today. Love that stuff. Oh, go to Coffee, by the way, KOFFI. It's in Rancho Mirage in Palm Springs. Amazing coffee place. So anyways, 3 months in the summer, it's gonna be about 105 degrees on average. And typically we like our house pretty cool, and we'll have it about at 78. And that makes the house actually feel cold. So this is just a tip. You have IID and SoCal Edison, so take it for what it is. All right, the next thing you should know about is in the desert, we have this thing called leased land. So it's basically Indian land. It's owned by Indian tribes, the biggest one being Agua Caliente. And most of this land is in Palm Springs, the majority, Cathedral City, and Rancho Mirage. Once you get past Rancho Mirage, Palm Desert, Indian Wells, La Quinta, Indio, all of that, you won't be on leased land. It will be called fee simple, where you actually own the land and the house on top of the land. Leased land, you lease the land, like it says, and then you own the structure, the house on top. Now, leased land is typically terms, right? There might be 30 years left on the lease. There's 60 years left on the lease, right? The perks of buying a home on Indian land or leased land would be you could find a home that's maybe 20 to 30% cheaper for being on that leased land. So you could find, a lot nicer of a home, a bigger of a home, But you'll have those monthly payments that could be $200 a month, maybe $400, $500, $600 a month. It just really depends on the leased land. Obviously, in more higher end neighborhoods, more desirable spots, that lease will be a little higher. So I just want to show you real quick on this map where you could see some of the areas where the leased land is. If we take a look right here, you could just sort of see, this is Palm Springs, so this might look really confusing, but see this box 11 right here, this light yellow area, that's where there is no leased land. So it's sort of a checkerboard pattern. So when in the 1800s, the railroad was laid down from Yuma, Arizona, all the way over here to Palm Springs, the government, allotted every quarter mile land on this side, to the different Indian tribes living, and then the government had this side, so they divvied it up per se. So if we look here, you can see it really is a checkerboard pattern, 11, 14, 13, you could see, you have fee simple land where you own it, and then a neighborhood right next door, it'll be tribal land. In most of Palm Springs is this checkerboard pattern. If we go over here to the right, you can see Cathedral City a little less so. But there's still spots, and then Rancho Mirage, some, leased land, Indian land as well. And you could see Agua Caliente, Indian reservation. So there hasn't been like an instance where people have owned a home, like for example, on leased land, not to my, knowledge, where then like the band of Indians don't renew the lease and then take your house away or anything crazy like that. Leased land is actually really common in our area, so it's nothing to be afraid of. You just have to know, for example, whatever the lease is, a lender will typically want 5 years more on the lease to lend you money. And that's why it's important to give me a call. I'm helping people move here all the time. I love it, and I have great lenders who work here locally who understand leased land, because a lot of lenders who are out of state, they won't, and your deal will fall through and you won't get your house. So this is very important. But these are just a few things about the leased land. You want to know how long it's for, the term, the monthly payment, and just, there's some other things, and I could walk you through that. So that's number 2, something you should know about. The third thing you need to know is, yes, housing has gotten pricier in the Palm Springs area, and especially Palm Springs in the last few years. There's a few reasons for that. More than ever, people are relocating here due to being able to work remote. A lot of companies aren't having their employees come back to work. So I'm seeing lots of relocation, either for how safe it is, the weather, just the overall lifestyle. And, Palm Springs, the average detached home, the median price actually, is $900,000, around there. So that is expensive. But if you look, some people are coming from, Seattle, Washington, Portland, Oregon, Los Angeles, California. These places are very expensive, and you get a lot more bang for your buck in Palm Springs, even with the higher prices. Now, let me just tell you, if you're looking to buy in Palm Springs and you see the prices are just really high, don't be scared. You can still find affordable housing if you go east in the valley. Let me show you on this map. Now, if you look right here, you have Palm Springs over to the left, right? Cathedral City, you'll find some more affordable housing. Rancho Mirage, Palm Desert. Palm Desert, the median price for a detached home right now is around $500,000. So it's almost half of what Palm Springs is. So that's something, that might be a good area you want to check out, because Rancho Mirage is around $700,000, almost $800,000 for a median detached home. In Indian Wells, it's going to be expensive, one of the highest zip codes in the valley. That's in this little city right here between Palm Desert, La Quinta. And then Indio, that will be a more affordable spot, Bermuda Dunes. So just know this, the further east you go, the more affordable the housing will be. And there's still beautiful country clubs and just locations. It's not like going east in the valley, it's not as nice as Palm Springs, Every city in the desert has multi-million-dollar homes and then $200,000, $300,000 condos. And that's something I didn't mention. Condos, so for example, like I said, Palm Springs, it's around $900,000 for a median detached home. Well, you could find condos in Palm Springs for $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 townhomes. So Like Palm Desert, the median detached price I said is $500,000 for a detached home. You could find a condo in Palm Desert for $250,000, like a nice one in a nice community. So you're not like in a not safe one. And by the way, I did a video about what areas are safe and not, and you can see that somewhere right here. And that will be helpful for you looking where to live and move. So that's something to keep in mind. The further east, the more affordable it gets, and you could find affordable options right now in all of these cities. Now in 10 years from now, I don't know, because this place is a destination, but right now you got a chance, so move while you can. The fourth thing I wish I knew before moving to Palm Springs was the wind. What areas are windy? What areas are less windy? Let's take a look at this map. You could see that this is a valley, so this right here is a mountain range. These are mountain ranges. These are mountains right here on each side. So the wind comes through Cabazon and Whitewater, where you can see, when you enter Whitewater, you'll see all the, famous windmills just all throughout the hills. And, my little one, I have a 2-year-old and he loves it. He's like, windmills, windmills. It's super fun. And they have tours and stuff if you ever want to check out the windmills. It's actually a thing people go do. I've never done it, but, it looks cool. So right here, coming through the valley, right, it's going to be the windiest over here in North Palm Springs. That's where it's going to be really, really windy. And then just right along the 10 freeway, going through the entire valley, it's going to be windy. Now, it's not windy every day. The wind sort of comes and goes with the seasons, right? So spring to summer, you'll see it get a little windier. But the perk to buying, along that 10 freeway north, it's still a great area, but it's just going to be windier, but it's going to be more affordable, which is nice. And you're sort of paying the lower prices being on, the north end, closer to the 10 freeway, than you would in like South Palm Springs, South Palm Desert. All those areas can get pricey because they're more secluded from the wind up against the mountains. So I thought that's something you should know. The fifth thing, the last thing I wish I knew before moving to Palm Springs is that summers get hot, and everyone knows that, right? That's like sort of a given. But it's important to either own a pool, have a friend that has a pool, or have some kind of community pool that you don't have to upkeep, but it's just included in your HOA or whatever, some kind of fee. Summers get hot here, right? The average temperature is like 105 degrees, which it is a dry heat, but still, that's hot. It's over 100. Well, if you have a pool, it makes life so much better here, especially if you're planning on staying here like all summer long. If you're just coming in January, February, it's just like beautiful outside, like 70, 80 degrees, and just cool. It's still nice to have a pool, because it's sort of cool in January. You could be hanging out by the pool. That's sort of the unique thing about living here. You're not in like snowshoes or like picking ice off your car. But in the summer months, I would recommend if you're buying a house here and you're gonna live here, all year long, I would have a pool or just a really good, AC machine. But, pool's nice. Why not get a tan? Make your friends jealous. So, thank you so much for watching. Like I said, my contact information is below. I would love to help you. Shoot me an email, text, whatever, and I could help you make this dream a reality for yourself. So, my name is Tommy. I really appreciate you taking your time to watch this video. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Like and subscribe.